What's going on, guys? This is Mike Dean with First Step Travelers. Today I'm going to tell you about a few apps I think you must have if you're going to be traveling Europe, and I will go into details about these apps. To start out, let's talk about flights, because obviously you're going to need flights if you're getting to Europe. Now, I've already gone into a whole video about getting your flight into Europe, so I'm not going to go too in depth with that. But if you've watched that video, you already know what Cheapo Air is, and that is the app or website that I use to get my round trip ticket in. You just get on the app, or you can get on a computer and do it on the website. You just pop in where you want to go. I don't know why I have Singapore in there right now, but I do. And that's how I get my round trip ticket. Same with Ryanair. The difference between Cheapo Air and Ryanair is pretty much how I'm finding my European flights. So right now I'm near Frankfurt International. If I wanted to find a flight to Faro, Portugal on the 27th, something like that, I can plug all that in. There's a ton of options. Like I said, I've already gone into that, so I'll link that video in the description. But that's definitely a good app you can have, especially if you like to freestyle travel like I do. Same with Wizz Air, it's exactly the same. It's a cheap airline that you can fly around Europe with, and I believe it actually goes to Israel as well, which is pretty cool. So those three apps I think you should definitely use if you're traveling around Europe to find yourself flights. Now, along with flights, you're going to need lodging. You're going to need a place to stay, and a few apps I can recommend using is, well, to start with, is Hotels.com. And like I said, if you watch that video I put out before, I talked about Hotels.com. It's pretty straightforward. You pick a destination and you can get hotels, but not only hotels, you can also get hostels. That's why I like this app and website quite a lot, because it will show hotels and hostels, not just hotels. Something else I like about it as well is Hotels.com has a reward system. So if you book with them like 10 times, you get like $30 off your next stay. It's pretty nice to have, so it's worth signing up, and you don't have to pay anything. Like I was saying with hostels, Hostel World's a great app. Just if you want to stay in a hostel straight up, they'll show you more hostels than Hotels.com usually will, but you won't get to compare the price of a hostel and a hotel. So it's just good to have. There's no reward system through them though. It's just a good app to have. And then Bookings.com is quite like Hotels.com. It's an option. Just play with them, see which one you like better. I don't think Bookings.com has a reward system, but I could be wrong. Don't quote me on that. And the other two alternatives I want to talk to you about is Airbnb and Couchsurfing. Airbnb is pretty much you're staying at someone's house. You pay a set price. They either give you the house or they give you the room. And if you get a room, you're staying with locals basically. So it's a good way to just mix with the locals, talk to them. Sometimes they cook dinner for you. It's just really cool. It's a cool experience to do, but you pay money for it. Now, I could talk about Airbnb, becoming an Airbnb host, and staying in Airbnbs all day. And if that's something you guys want to hear about, I can make a video on that. But to move on, Couchsurfer is quite the same. But it's literally you're staying at someone's house for free. You might have a room, you might not. You might be staying on the floor, you might be staying on the couch, hence the name. But it's more of kind of like a community. You can add friends on it. You can see who's in the area that's logged into Couchsurfer that wants to hang out. It's a cool little app. Definitely worth trying, especially if you're trying to backpack for cheap. Cool app to have. I recommend it. You know what you're getting because it's in the description. So play with that. You can either pay for a room or you can try to stay for free. The thing about Couchsurfer, I will say, it's not like guaranteed. Someone may be able to host you, may not. So Airbnb, you got a booking, unless the host cancels. And like I said, I can talk about Airbnb all day. So if you want me to make a video on that, I can. Next, transportation. Let's talk about getting around, especially in a city you know nothing about. Now, these three apps are essentially the same. Go Euro, Rome to Rio, and Move It. What I will say, I always use Go Euro. It's pretty much, it covers like all your bases. It even covers flights. Say if, so I put in Fulda, where I'm at right now, to Nuremberg, is somewhere I want to visit. So I want to go there tomorrow. I punch it in, I hit the search. It pretty much tells me trains, buses, and flights, what I can use to get to these places, which is really cool. I'm always using this app, and it helps me out so much. It's an awesome app. Sorry it's slow. I don't get the best reception right here in Fulda, but yeah, that's pretty much the gist of it. I'll let that load and I'll come back to it. Now to explain the other ones, Rome to Rio is basically the same thing. There's no reason really to go and move it. I don't use this one as much, and it's a great app, but they don't always, they're not up to date in the locations. Like, I tried using it here in Fulda, and they say, oh, we don't have enough information on that. Back to Go Euro. So boom, I want to go to Nuremberg tomorrow. Now it's saying I can use something called BlaBlaCar. Now this app is pretty darn cool. Might sound crazy, but it's a pretty cool app. I don't have it downloaded right now, but basically if you download BlaBlaCar, it's a ride sharing app. Pretty much people are driving to a city. So say I was in, say I'm in Fulda, and I need to go to Nuremberg. Somebody who's driving along that route can literally come pick me up and drop me off there, and I would only have to pay $14 as opposed to